flashes in warm up, weirdo?
What?
Why you flashing in warm up, you weirdo?
The gaslighting drives me crazy. The endless lies drives me crazy. They're trying to have your cake and eat it too. Trying to be a warmonger, but then turn around and demand the Nobel Peace Prize. Like, how do these people sleep at night? I genuinely don't get it. I don't get it. All right, here we go. Here's Trump running for president. All the times he acted like he was anti-war.
Said, oh, he's going to start a war because they said I had that personality to start a war. They remember that? Oh, we can't vote for him. He's going to start a war. No, I used my personality that we didn't have to have wars. I was the first president in decades who started no new wars. Who started no new wars, no new wars. No new wars. We don't need the wars. Foreign lands, countries you've never heard of.
It's not supposed to do that.
Little brother's taking them out on the town right now.
Right on. So you were able to like talk to him and whatnot?
Yeah. Yeah, we were
Cool.
it's like we're gonna have to be responsible adults here. Okay, bye. We're basically just like, you know, you came out here without a plan, like, let's make a plan. And she was all about it. Which I was expecting that we were gonna make her cry.
Oh, that was pretty funny.
Huh?
This guy, I'm playing Counter-Strike, and this guy just hit him with the fucking, what do you call it, the taser thing?
Oh.
Oh, you bitch. Oh, no way, just knifed somebody behind me, too. My man's a genius. Oh, God, I'm gonna die. I don't want to die.
I will be right back in about 3 minutes. I have to go
Oh, my dad.
one garbage can. I'm just gonna leave you on the phone, but I'm gonna leave the phone inside. Okay.
No. Damn it, you're 1 HP. Oh, he hit me in the face with that nade. Damn.
All right. Hello.
Ooh. Well,
Hi, how are ya?
I'm doing kind of terrible at this game, but I'm doing it. I'm streaming on the YouTube if you want to watch it.
You know, after that Band-Aid ripped off, I'm kind of happy my mom died.
That's pretty cool, though. At least for now. And if it gets too crazy, you just tell her to go back. Or you go back, and then you leave her there.
No, okay, so I have an escape
Great
plan.
part about having a fucking trailer is you can just go anywhere. Like, you can be like, you know what? Bye.
So,
Oh, no.
if this
I'm so
doesn't
blank.
pan
Oh,
out,
no.
if this doesn't pan out very well, I'm heading down to Panama City, Florida.
It doesn't pan out, you're painting?
Yeah, because
I
that's
would
like
too.
a big
Oh, my God.
fun party.
Standing behind a smoke, and all of a sudden the smoke dissipates, and there's literally like 5 guys all looking at me at the same time.
And you're like, fuck.
Didn't even get like one at a time. Oh, no way he hits that shot. What was that? What was that? Sussy Wussy McCringle. Gonna be watching you now, buddy. Got that on. Got that on videotape. He's a sussberry. He just shot somebody through the smoke without even seeing him. Almost like a no-scope. It was weird. We'll have to watch him. He's a sussy bear now.
I'm keeping my eye on you, is.
I is keeping my eye on that one, you know. Don't you know?
Keep a
Alright.
tight eye on that one, we must.
Oh, buddy. Oh, shit balls. AK-47. Oh, shit balls. Oh, I'm dead. I'm not dead. Run away.
Next in line.
Run away. Run away. Thank you. Fucking Christ.
You know, that brought me back to, don't you fucking open that door. I'll fucking murder you.
Right. Ah, run away. That guy's got it up. Cover the bomb, 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 cover the bomb. Yeah, we got the bomb, buddy. Yeah, I'm over here with you now, buddy. Yep, they're after me. Oh, that was dick balls. Right in my face. Oh, my man. My man. Dude, I can't. I got no ears. Should have turned up the game. He's tapping for me, though. Got him.
Yep.
Yeah, got a headshot. Yeah, killed the guy with job. Yeah. Nope, I'm the fastest. Yep, I'm too good. Oh, the AK is so beautiful. It scared me. My man. Ooh! Yeah. Oh, I killed. Nope, I fucked one up. Somebody else killed him. It's always good. Set him up for the scout kill. Ooh. Ooh, that guy's head went kadoink. Wasn't me, but I saw it go kadoink. Where's he at? Where's he at? Oh, there he is. Of course, from midair. Motherfucker pops out. Scared me. Still got my AK. Did you find the stream? Are you my one viewer? Are you my friend?
Wondering if these guys need help. I don't know.
The fattest rush. Fattest rush.
I'm gonna go see if they need help real quick. I'll be right back.
Alright, Fisher. We got bomb? Is that bomb? That is bomb. Okay, I'm going back. Gotcha. Shouldn't have ducked. Oh! That's right on his face if he would have took this one step forward. Oh, I finally found somebody with a knife you want to see. Oh, you're not there. God damn it. Nah, he died anyway.
Bro, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I got some like Mexican tweakers that don't speak any English, and I'm trying to like sound out what they need.
You could try Google Translate on your phone. It's kind of obnoxious, but they speak into it, and then and then it comes out as English words. But it does make life a little bit easier sometimes. God damn it, Bobby. He hit me with that. That was rude. Holy shit, there's a lot of them. Is it A? It is A. Right? That's B. Oh. Uh-oh. Twitch blur that out. You don't see that. Damn, let's headshot. Come on.
They fucking spilled gas all over my palm. And like, they're not moving.
Of course.
I don't know what the fuck, dude?
I feel like I had something to say to you when you got back, but now I forgot. Words. I'll show. Oh, the knife thing. I was gonna show you. This guy's got the fucking butterfly sapphire knife. Oh, this one's got a sapphire too. I know it's kind of purple. It's cheaper. I was gonna show you the fucking $10,000 knife or whatever. That's unbelievable. Ooh. Too many of them for you. Where you at, sir? Eh?
Sorry, I'm back. I don't know
There
what
you
the fuck
is.
you guys are doing.
Yeah, fuck those
I'm
guys.
done helping them.
What, are you watching the stream thing?
There is no stream.
No, on the tubage.
Oh, YouTube?
Yeah. I was gonna show you this guy's cool ass knife when he finally pulls it out again. This guy's got the $10,000 knife. Which is ridiculous. He also got the M4 Fade, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. He never pulls it out. I hate him.
Did you see my heart?
Oh, it's not even the one. Eh? Oh? Is it in the chat or something?
Yeah. Oh,
I
just
do
flew
not.
across your screen.
What? It's a lie.
You see him?
No. I don't see him in the chat. I don't see nothing. What the hell?
Yeah. I forgot. I'm like 10 seconds behind you. If you rewind about 10 seconds in your stream, you'll see him.
Well, it might be,
No,
oh shit.
no, this is fucking store. Waddle your fucking ass back to your car.
I think the hard thing is it just you liking the stream? Because that wouldn't show up, I don't think. Oh, dick balls. damn it, dude. How'd that miss, dude? This game.
My card's not working.
Nice. What happens if somebody gives you a fake card?
Huh?
Do you applaud them? What happens if somebody gives you a fake card? Do you applaud them for their effort and give it to them anyway? Just scan yours like, all right, nice try, buddy.
So I have people that come through with a screenshot of their digital, and they're like, "Why does it not work?" And I'm like, "Cause that's not a membership. That's a picture of a membership." But typically 9 times out of 10, unless they're an asshole, I'll just do the thing.
Right. Die, motherfucker, die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Oh, I got one. This gun has killed one. Well, it was on warm up, so it didn't really matter, but I did kill a guy through the smoke that I was not able to see.
Skill and precision. That's about as tactical as our invasion of Venezuela.
I'm blind, run. Oh god, I'm blind again.
Hi there. Did you need help? It usually does a hold, and in about 15 minutes, it'll go back onto your account. I don't know. My Cash App, it holds $100. Yeah.
Help you, little bitches.
Read the damn signs, dude.
What?
People, bro.
Got pre-fired like a motherfucker. I'll shot those bitches in their faces.
Lady says, it charged my card $175. I was like, yeah, it holds. It's the hold. It goes back. Oh, I got another one. Hi there. No, there's no way for me to take payment in here.
So, do your pump put it like a hold?
Yeah.
On the card?
Through the app they do, but if I swipe the card, it kind of bypasses the hold. But it depends on the bank. Like my Cash App, it holds $100 every time I pay one. Yeah. So, if I swipe the membership card, for some reason or another, it bypasses that hold. So it only charges you what you get. I know. First time I looked down at my phone and I saw $180. I was like, "What the hell are we doing here? Something is wrong." There you go, darling. Of course. And I'll just kind of hang out, make sure. Good. Perfect.
I'm smoking right now too. That's not a store. So there's not much like within my power. I'll swipe my card. Do you have a physical debit card? Yeah. So there's no way for me to like roundabout that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do it all the time. It's not like it's my first time coming to do it.
No. Yeah.
I'm supposed to hold my money, and now I can't just get it.
So I mean that. Yeah. That I'm gonna be honest. Be something on your bank. I don't know. There's nothing I can do
That's not on
in
my
that.
bank. My bank doesn't hold money. That's something on Sam.
No, Sam's holds the money. Not necessarily for your bank to figure out, but there's a couple of cards, but depending on the card
It didn't go well.
that's
His mouse is set
sure.
up like backwards, so it's really hard.
Yeah.
To what do you mean backwards? When he gets back, he'll explain it to you. But his mouse is set up backwards, and it's weird.
I'm not sure.
No. It's like his y-axis or something different. So I can't really explain it.
Here you go. Take care. You don't have to be a bitch to me. Jesus Christ. How about go fuck yourself, lady?
Yeah.
No, I said please.
Oh,
Oh, Nick.
go keep your money.
No, no rush, no rush. You rush. Rush it.
Hey, shit. Hi, David.
Alright, let's go.
Hello.
Oh my gosh. Did you catch all that?
Yeah. Sounded
Lady
fun.
getting pissed off at me over the bank holding her money.
And there's battery acid.
And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not your
Guys,
bank.
get in corners.
Don't fucking bother me.
They're definitely in the apartments. They're pushing A.
Jesus Christ, son.
They're coming A. That one! Which, how do I keep getting you and then I instantly die? You're bad luck.
How about you just never get gas here again?
Right, it's fine. We don't like you either. It's fine.
Listen, we did better that round. I don't know. It's weird.
It might be because you pick fill. Like, if you don't pick fill and you, like, set a specific amount, it might not do that. Maybe that's what the problem is.
So through the app, there's no way to like roundabout the hold.
This is my corner.
If I swipe my card, it roundabouts the hold. And that's what I was trying to explain to her, but she started
Bombs in
coming at
apartment.
me for her money getting held, and I'm like, look, I'm not helping you. You figure it out.
Get over here!
Right.
Oh my god! Sorry, that's dramatic.
I don't know. May the curse of 1,000 please fall upon her family.
I was hiding in corners. As I like to. It's safer. Masturbator, that's for sure.
Now this bitch is just sitting at my
By the way,
pump, and I'm
Leo
just
is
like,
falling
dude,
hard. Just so everyone knows.
Graham, fuck fuck out of here. Ain't nobody like you. You ain't got no friends.
Which
You
is
ain't
okay.
got no
I love
friend.
people, but like
I'm
not
saying.
nice. Like I'm sad about it.
Like with that attitude, you sure as hell ain't got no friends. And if you do have friends, they using you.
What
Dude, this undercover guy though is pretty
you
good,
fucking
to be honest.
ditched out on A, you're like, oh, the shit's going down. I'm gonna leave.
Well, the bomb guy was going B. I have to follow him.
Oh no.
Damn,
Oh
that's
no.
Rush B.
What was that?
Rush B, guys. Rush B. Well, they can hear us. Good. Don't rush B. Rush.
The hell was that?
You know they're not
Huh?
that. They were just saying that so you all wouldn't go that way.
I don't know, my whole screen changed colors. Like I got hit with a flashbang in between rounds. It was weird.
One next go.
Oh my god.
No, Nick.
Fuck.
Pushing up mid towards Archie.
Man, he was pissed, bro.
I shot a bird.
That guy was definitely pissed.
No, no. Oh, wait. No, we're good.
No.
We're not good. Not bueno. Don't do it,
No
Vlad.
bueno.
It's a terrible addiction.
Never
You'll
bueno.
have no keys
I want
left.
you to do the flipping or flipping the table one again. Do the yeah, flip that table. Flip that table. I like that one. It's so cute. Flip Yenny.
I think I'm gonna pee and finish my cigarettes. I was so rudely interrupted by that lady.
Right.
It sounds like when you're in between radio stations.
They're waiting out there. Don't keep it.
Don't do it. This is fucking fun.
You can't stop me. Just flanking.
One's to
Got
the right.
mine.
There's one on B. How did you pass them?
Yeah, I know, right? Help.
And demolish that team.
I was trying to get the bomb. Yeah, I know. Spat.
They're coming banana. Punch banana.
Alrighty. You stupid fucktards better not interrupt my break.
There's no way he's this bad, bro. And he got that fucking shot off on me. What the hell?
I got it off.
Hey, roll for me. I don't even know where I got shot. You didn't even
I'm gonna
check the
drop
other
this off
corner.
then.
I don't know about that guy. Sussy wussy.
I know I dropped my opportunity to get the other tables. Oh, me.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna hide in the corner now.
What you honking for? You don't know how to drive either.
Oh, is that your corner? This will be my corner. Bo, don't tell anyone that.
People.
Don't tell anyone that happened.
Watch in for rotation
I
towards A
totally
now.
jumped up
Look
here
out.
for rotation.
Watch out, apps. Watch out.
Bo, don't do
Archie's
it.
got rushed on.
Oh,
Archie's got
oh,
rushed
they're
on.
coming A. You got some A? You got some A action? You got some A? Bomb on A, bomb on A. Bomb on A!
Sorry, I'm back inside.
No, both are getting kicked in the butt by me.
How did you all die? You
That
had 90%
people.
of the team.
Vertigo, 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 vertigo.
No.
That's on you
Get
guys.
vertigo.
That's on you guys being dead.
Vertigo.
Alright, now I'm gonna dominate. This map I'm pretty good at. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Fuck, I hate this map.
You love it, don't lie.
I hate this. Is the worst map in Counter-Strike.
Oh,
I'm a terrorist. My bad. I guess I have to play this team now. I like
No,
Dust.
no, think about the first time you played Dust, though. First time you played Purple. That's how you
Will
play
you
Dust.
stop it, Crinkle? I'm running there. You need.
Come back the same way, Purple. I won't kill you.
No.
But you gotta be friendly though. Nice house though.
No.
Nice house.
See, Zedwick. Okay.
What? 2 headshots. Come on, come on. Got a brother some slack.
Hey, Venezuela, time to return.
Alright. Tradesies? It's only fair you take ours.
I'll make a move.
Right? It has to be a trade.
Right? We'll take your authoritarian dictator and you take ours.
Cute. Oh, I just got owned with a CZ. Fucking Christ. Oh no, he has the emerald. This guy's got like $5,000 knife.
Jesus Christ.
It's pretty crazy. Looks pretty cool though.
You know, I feel like this is a lot like the lucrative art business.
I mean, the artists at least get paid for this shit. Oh,
Right.
my lord. It's my favorite hiding spot in all of the land.
That little knife is $5,000.
It's a beautiful butterfly, man. Beautiful.
The crazy
Buy her,
part
that bitch.
is there's a motherfucker out there that's gonna buy that.
God damn it, I knew it. What the hell? Terrible. Yep, that butterfly knife itself, like even the like cheap ones are like $1,000 or some shit.
God damn.
Pretty close. I think like the cheapest ones are like 500 or something. I don't know. They're not cheap. That's for sure.
So I paid $4.99 for a package plastic bag. That is a third.
Oh, what the hell? Where'd that guy come from? Yeah, there's people paying for like their whole inventories, all sorts of crazy stuff.
It's just wild to me that there's that kind of a market for it.
Yep, they made it rare to get. Just rare enough. that it's worth a shit ton of money now.
Right. And you're rich. Next in line.
Right, if you open the right thing. There's like one box you can open if you're like super, super lucky, which is like 0.001% or something, and it's an expensive ass box. You can get like, you know, fucking $15,000 up.
God damn.
But that shit ain't gonna happen. Still a lot of people alive. Fucking knew it.
Oh man.
That's not what I wanted. And I'm dead. Yeah, I'm faster. Yeah, I'm faster. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Nope, that's not it. Thanks for the free passage, as they say. God damn it. I'm now the team leader. That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign, though. It's not a good sign, though.
Now, when I become the team leader, that's a really bad sign.
Oh, he got me. Got me. Oh, and he ran away. What a guy. He did a whole lap around. What a guy. What a weird guy.
What a guy. What a pal. What a pal. What a guy.
God damn you. This guy's name's Too Many Napkins.
You never have too many napkins.
You ever hear that, though? At the end of, what was that Logic song? Homicide? He has his dad rap for like 30 seconds straight or so, give or take. And that's one of the things he says. It's like terrible, like, old school rapping. Just like some freestyle shit you just say when you're dicking around drunk or something, you know? He's like, one of his lines is like, you got too many napkins. And he's saying like, flamala, blamala, or something, like, just to keep the words rhyming, you know, because he didn't have anything else. Just some funny shit. It's pretty funny. But that's probably the funniest part. It kind of stops for a second, and then he's like, you got too many napkins. And I was like, oh my god. It's hilarious.
Bro, I'm ready to stand down. Hey, long day.
Surprise, bitch. I love surprising people. So fun. Mid. Scare me like that. I knew you were still there. And it was too many napkins. I mostly killed him. Oh, he's going to be sniped. McCringle, get him. No way.
You had a better shot with a knife. You could have. You had it.
Damn.
I didn't hear you whip out your knife.
Oh, Pete's got a fucking Sapphire too with fucking blue gloves. $500 gloves with $500 fucking knife. Give or take. Redonkulous stuff. Oh Lord, I am blind. Oh, all my friends are dead. Oh, all my friends are really dead now.
All my friends are dead.
Oh, that person was dead. One more bullet. They shot me through the wall in the face. Oh, and they had one hit too. Literally 1 HP. I just can't win a round right now. I'm top frag and I can't win a single round. It's literally 0 to 6.
Damn.
At least it's not me alone. Might be top frag, but I'm also top loser. And now it's 7 to 0. Okay, guys. I'm going to the other web, but fucking almost called a website, blast site, whatever, bomb site. That's the word. I'm blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche. We lost one. We're one man down. God damn it, Bobby. Every time we go to the bomb site, they go to the other bomb site. And then we go to the other bomb site, they go to the other bomb site. There's no fucking door right here. I'm angry. Can't tell. Dude, Howard, 89. Okay, at least I shot him in the face. Struggle bussing right now.
In Colorado Springs, one of the Petcos here had a mountain lion go in it, and it ate a bunch of catnip, got high, and passed out in the toy aisle.
All right then.
Yeah.
No, could have been worse. Could have been worse. Could have been worse.
Indeed. Indeed. I mean, my dumb ass, I'd be like, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. And then, boom, I lost my face.
Stupid smokes. Oh, that was a shot. That was a shot and a half. Oh, that was a bad, terrible reaction time and a terrible shot. The first one was super purty. Hey, hell, how'd you guys get right there? Ooh! I kind of suck at this game now. Ding, 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 ding. Ooh! That guy's poor little face. Poor little tank. Good dink.
I sent you a little surprise, sir.
Better calm down with whatever you said in chat. I will ban your ass. No, I'm just kidding.
I am the almighty moderation.
Holy B-rush. That was insane. I did kill a man. I can say I at least murdered someone.
No, it was lawful. It was lawful.
Debate. Maybe with Jay, you need to ask him, like, where would he draw the line on his president murdering people? Like, where is the discretion line drawn? And if there is none, be like, you are not an American, sir. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, is after our conversations, like, I genuinely don't think there is a line for him.
Oh, I'm dead.
I think Donnie say, Donnie do type deal.
Right. But
And,
that's, you know, that's the more proof that, like, he doesn't believe in America, though, because, like, that is, like, the basis of American principles, man.
oh, without a doubt, and that's what I was touching on when I was bringing up the fact that America is a land of conceptual laws. It's not a land where presidents say, presidents do. Like, there are legal...
Right, and you can't just, like, claim an emergency every time you want to, which is kind of what he does, is, like, he'll be like, oh, well, there's an emergency, so I have to do it without there. And it's like, dude, you can't just claim that every time. You're nullifying the... Like, we want you to have that discretion to some degree. But, like, now that you've abused it, like, it has to be removed. Like, it's gone. Like, he already fucked it for everybody.
No, literally.
Fucked it for everybody.
The precedent that is set now, that future presidents have, is not good. So
Right.
everything that gave him the capability of weaponizing Congress, of weaponizing our army, like, everything that built up to that collective power, we need roadblocks. Like, major roadblocks, like road shut down roadblocks.
Yeah, it's like obvious that was not a thing that was a thing that was meant for, like, when we're like, even if there is some president, which I don't believe there is. I believe there was, like, a little bit for, like, certain, like, wartime emergency bullshit.
So he has,
but, like, it has to be, like, actually during a war that Congress has, like, approved. You know, with the country we're actually at war with.
That's what I was telling Jay, and Jay is like, this isn't a war. And I'm like, well, we kind of blew up a bunch of boats off of their coastline and literally fucking kidnapped their president.
Well, that's what also, like, if it's not a war. Yeah, but if it's not a war, then you don't have the right to do an emergency act of war. That's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what... It's like you don't have the right to do that. But that's why I was wondering, like, maybe you could ask him, like, you know, how far, like, where do you draw the line, then, on allowing a president to murder somebody? And if he just doesn't have a line, then I guess it's like, you know, well, you don't see how that might be a problem or against American values, or I don't know.
Well, same thing.
I doubt it'll make a difference, but...
Same thing.
But I thought that might be a good counter.
He's legitimately okay with rounding up every Muslim in the U.S. and either shipping them out or locking them up. And I'm like, bro, those are families.
Right.
Like, just because you don't like their religion does not make them not people.
Yeah, so he's basically just a Christian nationalist and doesn't believe in America, basically. Or he believes in the America he has created in his head, which is Christian nationalism, and he doesn't give a shit about
Without a doubt.
what other people think, basically.
No, without a
Like,
doubt.
the America he thinks is real is like some made-up fiction in his head that doesn't have flaws. It's just Christian theocracy.
I wouldn't even give it the courtesy of the term fiction. I would say delusion.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. It's not never been real, but they have this thing like that's what America was, and you can't claim that that's American. You can only claim that that's what you want America to be, and I can tell you right now, nobody else wants that shit. Like,
literally,
almost nobody. Like, even most religious people understand that, like, rule by religion is actually bad. Like, you've removed some of the purpose of America to begin with. Like, America's supposed to have some purpose here.
When I told Jay about my mom's boyfriend getting locked up, you know what this motherfucker's reaction was? Well, he got released, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's okay to have locked him up to begin with.
That's
you know?
Thank you. Exactly. I'm like, oh, so it's just okay to lock someone up until we know their identity, but we'll go and blow up a fishing boat and not know their names.
Right, and we didn't have to know their names, and their names won't be publicized, and man, it's just so stupid the way people take it. Oh, you know what's funny earlier? Is I was like, right when you were telling me about Jay, I was like, oh, by the way, I'm streaming, so Jay hears all this. Hi, Jay. And then you fucking, like, left, and it was the perfect timing. Like, you just, like, logged off and actually believed that shit. It was pretty funny.
That's great.
No, it's like, yeah, yes, I'm recording this, but there's no fucking way you'd ever see this shit. It's like he knows my name on here.
These are conversations. I mean, I haven't been blatantly outright with being like, how do you think that stuff? But I mean,
right,
these
and
are
you know,
conversations that I've had with him.
Right, and we're not like bad mouthing him, really. We're just like, disagreeing with what he believes.
Yeah, because he is still my friend, like, regardless of how wrong you are. Like, I'm not gonna, like, not like you. Now, if you really drive those beliefs and you start treating people around you like shit, that's a different story. I will stand up for them, but I mean, Jay, as wrong as his beliefs are, he hasn't done anything necessarily aside from like voting Trump in to damage things. So I'm like, I don't agree with you, but I don't necessarily hate you because you haven't driven this sense of hate. I mean, you believe in the hate, but you haven't like driven it into others. And I think for me, that's kind of my line is like, you know, you can believe whatever you want to, but when you start self-imposing that on people who have oppositional beliefs, that's where I have my line.
Yeah, it's like it's literally, they just don't like believe in that, like, democracy, you know?
Right.
Or
no,
like where people,
it's like
everybody deserves a choice.
It's like I was explaining to you how, I'm explaining my position to Jay, but he's trying to convince me. And it's that difference of like, I accept whatever you believe, but best believe I will challenge them if I see them as wrong.
Right. I wish a motherfucker would come into my chat and challenge me. I wish a motherfucker would.
Right?
I wish a motherfucker would.
Having to get so literal in the terms that I'm using and the phrasing, that's what irritates me with it, because I'm like, bitch, I know you understand what I'm telling you right now. You're just refusing to accept it. So you're like, what does that mean?
All right. Can I capture?
Because he really is. He's a great guy. It's just not great beliefs.
All right. As is tradition.
Right? He sent
As
me a
is with
message.
tradition, man. Unfortunately.
He
That
sent me
is
a
the
message
way of tradition.
and he asked me, he's like, so if you murder or if you were to kill someone who murdered someone, would that make you a murderer? And I told him, yes. There is no regard for the law and there is premeditation, so it is murder. Straight up. It may be justifiable. You may be able to say, hey, I killed this pedo, but like, murder is murder is murder.
Or you may have done it like at the time, so like you might have stopped him from murdering other people, so that's even more defendable. Or is that inside the law then? Because it's self-defense. If it's self-defense, I think it's inside the law. Then I guess so. It's not
Well,
murder.
so self-defense is different, but if you were to
But I
catch
still
somebody,
I'm not trying to play like the semantics game. You know, it's like, dude, you know what I mean.
and
You know what I mean?
that's what I was telling him. I'm like, why are we sitting here, getting lost in the minutia of everything? By the way, he
Like,
didn't even
yeah,
know what minutia meant.
well, yeah, and it's like you're just trying to like basically say that you should know when it's bad. Like it's not is like isn't that kind of what the religious people say all the damn time anyway? Is like when things are bad, so you should automatically know when to choose right or wrong. So it's like maybe that's kind of the way you got to go with this one. You're like people kind of know. You should know.
Well, so his rebuttal for things like that, because I've tried that approach where it's like this is wrong, right? Um, the rebuttal is always my feelings don't matter. And I'm like,
Well, yeah, but it's
what?
still like it comes down to like when
It doesn't
things are
it
like
doesn't
killing person bad, and if you
no,
don't have
exactly.
good reason for killing person, then bad.
Exactly.
I mean, there could be a good reason, but that's the thing. That's what I guess he's still trying to like say or something is like obviously there's times when there's like a good reason. And there
No,
is, like, if it's like an
but
active
that's
murder and you're trying to prevent more murder, that's probably a good time and reason. And self defense, of course, like those kinds of things.
but the lines of self-defense are very cut and dry and very crystal clear. So if you were to catch somebody, right, walking in with a gun and shoot someone, right? You tackle the guy, take the gun, shoot the guy, right? Well, that rides the line of self-defense because it's like, yes, he murdered. However, once you got him disarmed, like that's when it should have been like de-escalated, like detain and call the authorities.
Well, and it's
So
also like, can't you just like say a boat full of Americans was off the coast, and like if they came to America, they had drugs on board, or even could prove they had drugs on board, like wouldn't that be bad? Like,
right,
or a boat full of people? Like, why does it have to be Venezuelan, Like, make it white
right,
people? Like, if there was a boat full of Israelis out there that you knew had 100 kilos of cocaine or whatever the fuck, and then you let those hundreds of people, or you blasted those hundreds of people underwater, would that be like still good? Like, I feel like that's weird. Like, it's not good. What are you doing, brother?
Right, exactly.
And that's why that's what I don't get about it. Like, it seems pretty obvious to me. Like, you know, you just look at it from your own shoes as like an American citizen. Would you want to have your boat blown apart just because you have cocaine on it? Like, sure, yeah, you want that person, that American citizen, arrested
Stop.
and tried in court and stopped.
But stop. But that's the thing.
But were they shooting at you? Why did you
That's what
blow
I
them
keep
to
trying to bring up to
pieces?
him. Is like, regardless of if you're in the U.S. or out of the U.S., we have a legal process, and without court convictions, because the only court convictions that we have actually had deem these people innocent. So
Right, and that's why it's considered an act of war too, is because it's not something that we would do to our own citizens, like blowing somebody up for delivering drugs. That's certainly not something we would do to our own citizens. Like, we don't even like we could actively see one dealing drugs and we'd be like, ah, oh, fuck. Now I gotta go fill out some paperwork and I gotta get a warrant and we gotta watch this guy for like fucking 6 months and we gotta get all this evidence and like, you know, like they go through this crazy process usually to make sure they get solid evidence against like the worst offenders.
right.
Even in like murder cases, you know, we go through crazy bullshit and we usually like arrest a person. We don't mutilate on sight. We don't hit him with a nuke from outer space. You know, fucking drop some drone bomb on them or whatever the fuck we did to those poor little fucking people on that boat.
America being a land of laws, and
Right, and due
believe in
process.
those laws, if you don't believe in laws or the due process, then it's all fictional.
Right, it's like there's no point in there even being a line on the ground. You might as well just be like power rules or whatever, back to kings and douchebags.
Right. Well, and like if you
The
look at the
land of
laws
the
in the US,
free?
a majority of these laws internationally that we've made came after World War II, which was the lead after the greatest genocide in human history. Like,
Right.
we made these fucking rules to protect people. Regardless of if they're people you don't like, they are still protected.
Right.
And that's where I think, like there are talking points with MAGA that it's like, I could get behind that. Tightening up the border, you know? If we tightened up the border and then created better pathways to citizenship, then what the fuck is like, it's not about allowing people in, it's about keeping people out and ruling with a thumb. It's that king shit.
Right. Every time, man, every time.
And like with
You
Jay
know what part of my
particularly,
problem?
the
Fuck, dude, I'm
analogy that
recording.
comes to my mind when it comes to Jay is the German soldiers who were patriotic and did what they were told. You know, that's what it reminds me of, because there was a point where people would back Germany no matter what they did, whether it was right or wrong, because that is our homeland. And Jay even touched on that yesterday, where it's like, this is your military, this is your president, and then he questions my patriotism. And I'm like, no. Like, in my eyes,
It's
I'm more of a patriot than you because I'm willing to call my own out.
right. The last thing
And
you
like
want to
it,
do is let your own become not American. The most important thing are like the base principles of America, which is sort of democracy, but it's like basically like that, like separation of power, you know?
Yeah.
Like Congress has power. There's no king. There's no like it's like basically essentially all of the steps, like even the voting and democracy, like all of it is just like to prevent a small group, especially a single person, from gaining too much power, so that way everybody has a say and everybody is protected from everybody else, basically. Like that's the whole point. That's the thing people need to really figure out. Like it's just this is to protect us all. You know.
Right. Everybody. Like even the Nick Fuenteses of the world. Like it's implemented to protect the 0.01% that everybody is against. It's not to protect the popular majority, it's to protect the unpopular.
As to protect all of us, I guess, you know. Like even though it does like give the popular vote, it still like protects everyone from anyone minority gaining control.
Right, exactly.
And that should be a good thing no matter who the small group is, you know. You don't want a small group taking control. You want everybody taking control, and that's sort of the point. Prevent small people from stealing and doing terrible things. What if the next guy is the opposite of what you want, and now he has just as much power as the guy?
Oh, brother, that
So
is
next guy
coming.
might be a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like that's it too. Like, how do you not see that? Like, you're just giving the other side power. If your side becomes too powerful, there's a huge risk there.
Right.
Which is exactly why, like, the Church of Satan shows up at every fucking school that Christians show up at, so that they can be like, no, dude, if you're gonna fucking show up here and try to push your shit, then we're gonna show up and push our shit. Nobody should be pushing their shit and forcing kids into anything. And get the fuck out of our schools. And if you don't do it that way, then we're gonna, show you your worst. We're gonna the worst.
I got a fuel truck.
Yeah. I'm sure you'd probably be gone for a bit, huh?
I will be back in a bit.
For sure. Have fun. Good luck. Be right back to you. Must pee.
way, just so you know, that line is complete horseshit too, for all the reasons I explained and more. I started no new wars. I just kept bombing like 10 different countries.
That don't even want us there. I was the first president in decades who started no new wars. I was the first president in decades who started no new wars. We will expel the warmongers from our government. You know, we never got into a war with me. I have a great record. We had peace. We had prosperity. We had no wars. We had no wars. That started no wars. We didn't have a war. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will expel the warmongers from our government. And we had no wars. When you see all the people that died in these horrible wars in the Middle East and everything else, countries didn't want us. Look at Trump. Just look at this guy. He's going to go to war. He's going to take us. No. Look at me. I'm the one that kept us out of war. You know, I'm the only president that didn't start a war. I didn't start a war.
This president, no wars.
Started no wars. You're going to end up in a war. Or war or no war. They like a war. They love wars. You know, they love killing people. It's so wonderful. You know, I'm the only president in many, many decades that didn't start a war. They're the party of endless wars. I was the first president in decades who started no new war. The wars all over. He said, bring back Trump. It'll all end. It all ended. We had no problem. I'm going to keep you out of wars. I kept you out of wars. We had no wars with Donald Trump as your president. Remember when crooked Hillary Clinton used to say, he's going to get us into a war. Look at him. Look at his rhetoric. I said, no, my rhetoric's going to keep us out of wars. That's what happened.
Unbelievable. So, by the way, Trump's approval rating is still at like 35% or 36%. So let me just be clear about that specific 35 or 36% that's still with him. You are un-American, disgusting, repulsive, vile little cretins. Okay, am I clear enough? You are the most pathetic people on planet Earth. This is your last chance, effectively.
Damn.
Right? If you haven't fled him by now over the Epstein files or the corruption or the using the U.S. military to invade the United States of America, if you hadn't turned on him now, this is like your last-ditch effort. The last off-ramp. Because at this point, it's criminal. At this point, you're a co-conspirator. At this point, you actively root for evil. You root for Satan. You root for the devil. You root for death and destruction. So I just want to be clear about that. That if this doesn't get him to his absolute rock bottom number, and we'll see, what is that number? Does it actually get down to 26%? Which is the absolute bare minimum, I think? Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. But at this point, it's like, this first year has been worse than literally anybody could ever imagine. Worse than anybody could ever imagine. All right, more. Ryan Rosbiani says, did Netanyahu push Trump to attack Venezuela? Fox News pundit says, the U.S. attacks on Venezuela are for national security against Hezbollah and Iran, as well as Russia and China. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Here we go.
Venezuela has become a hotbed for every adversary of the United States to operate in the Western Hemisphere. Hezbollah has operations. The terrorist group Hezbollah, based in Lebanon, has operations that have been widely reported to be based in Venezuela. Iran is operating in Venezuela. Russia, China. It has become sort of the satellite state for the countries who we consider our adversaries and who are bent on trying to do everything they can to destabilize and undermine the West. So
at this point, the warmongers are just like, they're trolling us. They're dabbing on us. You don't even need to know anything about politics to know how bullshit that is. We've heard the fake Nobel Prize winner, the opposition leader against Maduro, she said Hamas and Hezbollah are acting in Venezuela, and they're like plotting attacks against the U.S. Like this is like humiliating. For anybody who believes this, it's humiliating. Like they know this is not true. They know most of us know it's not true, but they say it anyway. And by the way, it's actually correct to point out, and we just talked about this the other day. Netanyahu did say this the other day. Watch.
We've had an unbelievable success, and by degrading Iran, which was a first-rate power, now it's a second-rate or third-rate power. They were throwing their weight all over the place, exporting terrorism, not only to every part of the Middle East, but to Venezuela. They're in cahoots with the Maduro regime, you know. They're exporting terrorism to America, to the American hemisphere, and then they want these Hezbollah and Hamas to get their guys into the United States. So Hamas and Iran and its proxies are a threat not only to us, but to Israel, all America's allies in the Middle East, and to America itself.
This is the Zionist and MAGA warmongers basically mocking us at this point. Like, we can do whatever we want. We could say whatever we want. I mean, this is right up there with the worst of the worst lies from the Bush era. You know? Like, just comically absurd. All right, more. Last night's attacks on Venezuela's fit into a long history of brazen U.S. intervention in Latin America and the world. So here we go. U.S.-backed right-wing military coups in Latin America. Cuba, 1952. Guatemala, 1954. El Salvador, 1980. Honduras, 2009. Nicaragua, 1980s. Panama, 1989. Haiti, 1959 and 2004. Peru, 1962 and 1975. Dominican Republic, 1965. Venezuela, 2002. Bolivia, 1980s. Paraguay, 1954. Brazil, 1964. Chile, 1973. Argentina, 1976. Uruguay, 1973. So there's a long history. By the way, you want your mind to be blown? Go read the history of what's called the Banana Wars. Go read the history of what's called the Banana Wars. And what you'll find out is, yes, the U.S. military was overthrowing governments for a literal fucking banana company. For the Chiquita Banana Company. I know that sounds made up and super extreme, but it's actually what happened. So go read about that and have your mind blown. More. Here's Trump on New Year's Eve. What is that, 3 days ago? Something like that? Listen to this. Mr. President, do you have a New Year's resolution? His answer, peace. Peace on earth. This era of postmodern conservatism is going to kill me. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get out of this era intact. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to become a paranoid schizophrenic. I am going to be gnawing on my own fingers until they're little bloody nubs because I can't, I just can't comprehend this world that we live in, where it's like, you can say one thing and do the exact opposite and rinse and repeat that about 400 times, and everybody still acts like everything's normal and everything's okay, and we don't live in fucking bizarro land. It is so crazy to me, bro. It is so crazy. All right, here we go. Aiden Simmerdone posted this. It's an explanation as to why he thinks Venezuela will fail, or at least why Trump's regime change attempt will fail. Here we go.
Here are 3 reasons why Donald Trump's war with Venezuela will fail. The first is simply geography. I think the best comparison to make is with Iraq, because of course the United States did invade Iraq in 2003. They were able to topple Saddam Hussein, but they were unsuccessful as they had to fight an insurgency for the next 8 years. Well, Iraq would look like a walk in the park compared to an invasion of Venezuela. Venezuela is roughly twice as big as Iraq, and it is far more mountainous. In addition, at the time of the Iraq invasion, Iraq had many enemies at its borders. This includes countries that had previously fought wars against, like Iran, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia, as well as major U.S. allies, like NATO member Turkey, as well as Jordan to the west. In contrast, Venezuela actually has very good relations with 2 of the 3 countries it neighbors, that being Colombia and Brazil. For instance, in Brazil, there's also actually this group called the Landless Rural Workers Movement that has 1.5 million members, and they have actually pledged that if the United States tries to invade Venezuela, they will form their own militia or brigade to then go and help the Venezuelan government. The second reason why a war with Venezuela would fail is because the existing sanctions against Venezuela have actually been insufficient in creating the instability that the United States desires. When the United States invaded Iraq, sanctions had pretty much destroyed the country. The Iraq army lacked the necessary equipment to fight against the United States, and northern mountainous regions were already controlled by Kurdish people rather than Saddam Hussein himself. And as these sanctions were going on, there were very few countries that were actually willing to trade or help out Iraq. In contrast, while the sanctions on Venezuela have been devastating, they failed to create the same level of chaos. Yes, there have been attempts to overthrow the government in Venezuela, but these have also failed. And countries have stepped in to help. You know, for instance, Iran actually sent oil to Venezuela, and there are rumors that Russia has actually sent in hypersonic, or at least very powerful missiles to the Venezuelan army. So the Venezuelan army and the Venezuelan people would actually be a lot more able to fight against the United States government compared to what happened in Iraq. The final thing is also that this war is simply unpopular amongst the American public. The Iraq War was unfortunately actually quite popular, with both Republicans and Democrats supporting it in the hysterical aftermath of the 9/11 attacks. In contrast, war with Venezuela is not popular really at all. 45% of Americans oppose overthrowing Venezuelan President Maduro, while just 17% are in favor. And even amongst Republicans, it's not even a majority. It's only 34% who are in support of this. And actually, public opinion does matter. That's why they always engage in propaganda and try to get the public on its side. So the fact that it's unpopular would make the war a lot more difficult to carry out. So there you have it. Those are why this war will fail. Please leave a comment, like, and share. I would love to hear your thoughts as well.
And let me just add to this again. We don't know exactly what's happening because the VP is still in Venezuela, seemingly in control of the country. You still have the defense minister there. The military appears to still be on the side of the government. So there's a weird scenario where, like, they got Maduro, but they didn't really get anybody else. And so was there a deal cut? Or are they just incompetent? Or, like, where we are right now is very murky. So there's a lot of open questions that we need answers to. Now, on that same point, look at this from Anonymous. They have a theory. Venezuela opposition reports the so-called capture of Maduro was a negotiated deal between Maduro and the U.S. for an agreed exit strategy. We reported in November that this would be the case. The U.S. bombed Venezuelan service members as part of a death theater. Okay, so he says Maduro, this was all the way back on November 7th. Maduro likely already has purchased property in Dubai to retire to. He'll hand over oil rights and contracts to U.S. resource corporate oligarchs and billions to the Trump family, laundered through third parties. The threat of invasion is basically a shakedown to ensure he provides more loot. If anything does get bombed in Venezuela, it'll be death theater to help legitimize the deal. Venezuelans will pay the check Maduro is ready to cash. A large sum of the national wealth for Venezuela has already been transferred out of the country by Trump, allies, and Russia. So this is, again, this is an interesting theory, and since there are so many open questions as to what exactly is going on here, the speculation is fucking welcomed. The speculation is welcomed, and certainly we'll have answers to some of these questions within the next week or 2 weeks or month or so, but as of right now, there's going to be a lot of speculation because this doesn't quite add up. The fact that the VP is still in control, the defense minister is still in control, the military is still in the country. Was there a deal, or is it incompetence, or is there something like this going on? We don't know. All right, more. Breakthrough News says, breaking, anti-war organizations in the U.S. call for emergency nationwide protests on Saturday, January 3rd. The Answer Coalition has just issued a call to action that reads, quote, "This war is not about drug trafficking. It is not about democracy. It is about stealing Venezuela's oil and dominating Latin America. It is an outrageous escalation in a campaign of murder in international waters and piracy targeting civilian ships trading with Venezuela. We need to take to the streets and say no to another endless war. The people of this country do not want another war." In the first hour since the call was issued, 13 cities have already listed protests, including in front of the White House at 1 p.m. The organization says more cities will be posted by the morning. The listing is available at answercoalition.org/Venezuela. So you already have popular mobilization here in the U.S. Chris Murphy, when asked about possible military strikes on Venezuela, here's what he says.
Quickly before you go, the president said that he has made a decision, has come to a decision about Venezuela, suggesting that there could be military strikes on Venezuela. How big a step would that be, and how should Democrats react to that?
Well, it seems pretty clear it's just an effort to distract people from the rising prices and from the Epstein scandal. No one wants a war with Venezuela. To the extent they're claiming it has something to do with the drug trade coming to the United States, the majority of drugs don't come through the Caribbean. They come via a land route that the president is ignoring because he is so focused on this absurd, illegal military campaign against Venezuela. So I don't think he'll find much support amongst Republicans or Democrats in this country for it. And by the way, it's wildly illegal. The president can't start and another signal to Democrats as to why we need to draw those firm moral lines in the sand right now to constrain his growing illegality.
All right, you got to impeach and remove, or you got to do the 25th Amendment. And I know already Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie are already getting their rear and gear and working on holding this president accountable. And the fact that Chris Murphy was saying this is phenomenal. And we need every Democrat to get on board. Impeach and remove or use the 25th Amendment. We have to get out there. We have to make the argument. This is unacceptable. As I told you guys, he's going to leave this world a smoldering ash heap by the time he's done. United States military veterans with a message for those in service with the U.S. military right now. So this is an amazing video. Take a look at this. Here we have a veteran who says the quiet part out loud and tells the truth about current veterans who are engaged in this.
Yo, so it's being reported right now that Caracas is under attack, getting bombed from the air, possibly from drones. There's been reports of blackouts. This is a message for all active duty. If you ever get this, I want you to know something, that America is not behind you. This ain't like the Afghan war and the Iraqi war, where you get to come home and be celebrated as a hero, have romantic movies made for you in Hollywood. Nah, America is like what the fuck right now. So understand, if this ever I hope this gets to some fucking Navy dudes. If you are in the Navy, if you are in the Air Force, and you are behind the bombing of Caracas, Venezuela, America is not behind you. You will not be celebrated as a hero. You're a piece of shit. You are a piece of shit for following orders from fucking old, decrepit, corrupt men who are fucking over all of Americans right now. And now they're fucking over Venezuelans. America is not behind you, U.S. military. We are not behind you. You will not be celebrated. You have the freedom to turn down orders right now. If you are taking orders to bomb Caracas and bomb Venezuela, a sovereign country, and killing civilians, bombing civilian infrastructure, attacking even military targets, you are violating every fucking law. Not just man-made law. I'm talking about just the law of morality, the laws of the universe. If you are active duty, you have the ability to say no. You have the ability to turn down orders. I suggest you do so, because you will not be celebrated as a fucking hero. you will be seen as a piece of shit by all Americans, except your old fucks who are sitting in front of the TV watching Fox News.
So again, this is not Kyle Kalinske saying it. This is not some Code Pink far lefty person saying it. This is a former U.S. military veteran. And he's saying, no, we're not with you, and you guys need to let's man up here and let's stand for truth and stand for justice and reject all these illegal orders, because all of these orders are completely and utterly illegal. Bypassing Congress illegally. And by the way, if they even were to go to Congress, Congress should have voted no anyway. Let's talk about the bombing as such. Let's not just get stuck on proceduralism. Let's make the point that this, in no sane world, should any politician support this. All right, more. Here is John Kiriakou, and he makes a very interesting point here. Take a look.
I mean, why do you think, what does the CIA think, do you think, about why they've failed in Latin America time after time after time? Of course, in Nicaragua and in Cuba and in so many other countries in Latin America, they have failed to overthrow countries, let alone a country the size of Venezuela.
For decades. And it's because of this belief at the CIA. It's a very deeply held belief that we are the good guys. And as soon as we cross that border, people are going to throw flowers at us. And of course, that's laughably wrong. There's no understanding of history. There's no understanding of the societies and the cultures of these countries. They don't want us there. And at the CIA, they just don't understand. Now, in their defense, the CIA is not a policy agency. It's a policy support agency. So just like with the invasion of Iraq, if the White House says do it, you have to do it, even if you're opposed to it on philosophical grounds. But you're right. The CIA, the American government in general, just never seems to learn the lesson of invasions gone bad. It's easy to invade a country. It's easy to overthrow its government. It's exceedingly difficult to take care of things the day after. And one thing about Venezuela, too, as I just said, it would be easy to overthrow the government. We've already essentially told Maduro, just get on your plane and run away. Go to Doha, go to Havana, go to Moscow, just get on the plane and run away. The President Maduro, his private pilot, said just a few weeks ago that the CIA had approached him to try to recruit him. So in the event that Maduro were to run away, instead of landing in Havana, he would land in Miami, thinking it was Havana, and we could take him off the plane and charge him with drug trafficking. The president, just a couple of weeks ago, went on national television and said that he had signed a covert action program. Let me tell you, there is nothing that the CIA does that is more highly classified than a covert action program. This was the first time in American history that a president ever announced one as he was signing it. The point being to put so much pressure on Maduro that he just gets up and runs away. So to overthrow him, what do you need to do? You need to secure the presidential palace. You need to take over the radio and television stations. You need to control the major intersections in Caracas. But most importantly, you need to have the military on your side. And the Venezuelan military is on the side of President Maduro.
Damn. How about this? Trump file points out. Project 2025 suggests U.S. interference in Venezuela's government on 3 separate pages. If you are one of the few who think that an attack on Venezuela is meant to distract from the Epstein files and not part of a larger GOP goal, primarily oil, you are mistaken. So I actually think both things are true. Trump, the timing of this absolutely lines up with, yes, he is also trying to distract from the Epstein files. But Trump file is also correct here that, yes, the broader goal, this is not an accident. This is planned out. They've been open about this fact for a long time. They are American supremacists. They are fascists. They are imperialists. They are warmongers. They want to steal the oil. Look at this. Venezuela has swung from being one of the most prosperous, if not the most prosperous country in South America to being one of the poorest. They go on to say, in the highlighted portion here, the next administration must take important steps to put Venezuela's communist abusers on notice. In a world on fire, a handful of nations require heightened attention. Some represent existential threats to the safety and security of the American people. Others threaten to hurt the U.S. economy, and others are wild cards whose full threat scope is unknown but nevertheless unsettling. The 5 countries on which the next administration should focus its attention and energy are China, Iran, Venezuela, Russia, and North Korea. So we're right back to the George W. Bush axis of evil shit. They mentioned Venezuela here. Span all tools at the disposal of the U.S. allies and partners to take care of Venezuela. So this is exactly what they wanted. More. The kidnapping of Maduro was very telling. For a start, they clearly paid off everyone in their way and ensured there would be no real resistance. So basically, bombing the parliament and going in all guns blazing was completely unnecessary and instead a message to the world. If it's that easy, then why do this at all? They obviously knew there would be no air defense active, that Maduro wouldn't be guarded from them. It seems there weren't even any sirens active in Caracas, yet the U.S. still decided it would bomb the parliament while it was at it. Just goes to show that there's no such thing as international law. Now we wait to see if Venezuela heads to a catastrophic civil war and whether the U.S. will leave or get bogged down there. Clearly a lot of unanswered questions right now, but one thing is obvious. This was done to send a message. Sam Stein says, just a reminder that Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, told Vanity Fair that a land strike in Venezuela would require congressional authorization. So internally, in the regime, they know, oh shit, he crossed a big bright red line here, and now he's opened himself to potential impeachment, to removal, to criminal charges at some point, to the 25th Amendment. Like, it's time to act, y'all. The fact that Susie Wiles said, oh yeah, we know we can't do this, and then they did this, wakey, 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 wakey. Democrats cannot afford to sit around with their thumbs up their asses anymore. Yanis Varoufakis says, the empire strikes back, not just to grab oil and other riches, but fundamentally to hide its own weakness at home and to prepare the ground for subjugating its own people in Chicago, Portland, New York City, etc. Meanwhile, a vassal Europe watches in silence. That's right. And Crystal made this point a long time ago. Trump will get more and more dangerous the more he loses his grip on power at home. And like I said, that 36% approval rating, he's at a historic low. And so what do? I got to try to reassert my dominance, reassert my power. Let me, as a bully, go pick on a smaller country, start a new illegal regime change war, and steal the natural resources and brag about it like the year is fucking 1532. Breakthrough News says, at the American Business Forum in Miami, exiled Venezuelan opposition figure and Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado touts a massive privatization program for U.S. businesses elites should the U.S. carry out regime change in Venezuela. So, by the way, this psychopath got a Nobel Peace Prize and dedicated it to Trump. She also begged Netanyahu to overthrow Maduro. She's begged for war in her own country. So here's what she said.
And this is amazing, super exciting for me. We will open Venezuela for foreign investment. I am talking about a $1.7 trillion opportunity.
So literally telling the oligarchs, literally telling the billionaires and the oil corporations, come on in, baby. Come on in. Make me your puppet leader in Venezuela, and you guys can loot and plunder and pillage.
Not only in oil and gas, which is huge, and you know that the opportunities, because we will open all upstream, middle stream, downstream to all companies, but also in mining, in gold, in infrastructure, power. We have our grid right now has a 17 gigawatt opportunity of energy potential that needs to be rehabbed. Certainly for technology and AI and tourism. You know, Venezuela has two.
Doesn't she literally look like a demon? I don't know if it's the makeup or the lighting or whatever. She looks like a demon here.
1,800 kilometers of pristine Caribbean coastline ready to be developed. So this is going to be huge. We will bring rule of law. We will open markets. We will have security for foreign investment and a transparent, massive privatization program that is waiting for you.
Mehdi Hassan says the attacks on Venezuela were delayed by the attacks on Nigeria. Now give this man a damn peace prize. Somebody else tweeted, you know, I'm starting to doubt the legitimacy of the FIFA Peace Prize. Yeah. Yeah, you don't say. So this is just insane. So they were trying to do it like on New Year's Day. They were trying to do it on New Year's Day. But hey, sorry, we got to do another illegal bombing raid on an innocent village in Nigeria. Okay? He's got wars interrupting other wars is the stage of decline that we're in right now. Adam Johnson says, the New York Times dutifully liberal washes Trump's bombing of Venezuela and abduction of its leader by embracing the captured framework. Maduro isn't wanted by any international or legitimate legal regime. His fugitive status is pure assertion by only one UN member state out of 193. So look at this. This is how the New York Times phrased it. U.S. captures Maduro, Trump says. Venezuelan leader flown out of country after large-scale attack. No, the correct word is kidnapped or abducted. He was kidnapped or abducted. That's how you describe this. This is liberal washing. This is sane washing Trump. This is pretending like it's about freedom and liberty and democracy. Utter nonsense. And the New York Times will not call a spade and say this is about natural resources, this is about oil, this is about mineral wealth, this is about enriching the billionaires who got his ass in office. They will not tell you the truth. They won't do it. And you got to come to outlets like this, an asshole on YouTube, to hear the truth, which is disgusting. Shame on them. Shame on them. This is amazing. I want to show you this. So Terrence K. Williams says, I stand with President Donald Trump. I voted for him because I trust his judgment. I trust our commander-in-chief. President Trump ordered strikes on sites inside Venezuela, including military facilities, according to U.S. officials cited by CBS News. Keeping America safe comes first. So that's what this guy said now. On October 7th, he said, and they said Trump would start wars. Anybody who is this deep in the MAGA cult and has chugged the Kool-Aid this aggressively is so fucking useless. They're so useless. They've dedicated their lives to worshiping this fucking fat war criminal, fredophile rapist, okay? Like, how absurd is that? So you're going to see a lot of this account, this account is, I'm sure, about to go ham with all the people who pretended like MAGA was anti-war, and now all of a sudden, they're all pro-war, okay? Robert Inlakesh says, breaking, as the U.S. invades Venezuela, Israel launches airstrikes throughout Gaza. Missile strikes on Jabalia and Burej reported just now. So, what's happening is Israel is using the cover of this big news in the U.S. to do more terrorism and more damage and more genocide and ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. So, as I've told you a million times over, that fake peace agreement Trump did was always totally fake, and Israel has consistently violated it all the time since they signed it and made a big deal about that. Tim Haynen says, Donald Trump is going to threaten to bomb a different country every 12 hours until he finds the one that will make everyone stop talking about how he raped kids. Trump File points out here, Fox News is really trying to blame the cartel for a military attack on Venezuela. 15 minutes later, they admitted it was our military. So this stuff, you are getting some all-time bangers coming out of Fox News today, man. Let me tell you, some all-time bangers, because they are all over the place. They're loving this, they're defending this, but they're also just flat out making shit up. So listen to this.
Perhaps Iran, because it's in the back and forth of the rhetoric, it was if the Iranian regime was trying to use in an asymmetric fashion a terrorist attack against the United States, and they were using their assets that they have in Venezuela, that could have been a trigger for this. If, say, the Venezuelans were preparing to attack U.S. forces, that could have been a preemptive strike against those forces as well. But the most interesting one, which also I think needs to be considered, is that it could be an internal or the cartels themselves trying to rise up to take out Maduro themselves, or internal.
Yeah, because, you know, the cartels themselves have the world's most powerful military helicopters and fighter jets and weaponry and bombs. I mean, this is insane.
Or the cartels themselves trying to rise up to take out Maduro themselves, or internal, a military coup, not unlike how Hugo Chavez first tried to come to power. So all of the above still in the cards. The only losers in the end of this, if the regime actually collapses, is the Chinese, the Russians, and the Iranians at the end of the day. And the Venezuelan people, I think, no matter what happens, I think they will have a better future free of this narco state that they've been living under for the last couple of decades.
I'm sure, just like the people of the U.S. the people of Iraq are going to have a great time after we topple Saddam. What's that? 4 million lost their homes? What's that? Hundreds of thousands of innocent people died? Oh, oops. I mean, God, I hate these people so much, but that's insane. Maybe the cartels did it. Oh, we did it? Never mind. We did it, and it's awesome. Hooray! Oh, my God. Adam Johnson says, I would simply like my country to stop starving and killing people, and I would like the U.S. liberals to stop aiding this regime of violence by constantly propping up its moral logic and acting as if there's some human rights or democratic or international order the U.S. is defending. He says, one would think Gaza would have ended this fiction. One would also think Trump's out-in-the-open brazen imperialism would have ended this fiction. But it's a fiction that is simply too big to fail, and without it, there's too many people who wouldn't know how to engage reality. If the people carrying out the acts of imperial violence don't care about democracy, it's entirely lost on me what use it is to register one's opinion on this dynamic. It's irrelevant. No one actually making these decisions gives a shit. So what is it other than fart sniffing? That's exactly right. And this is what the New York Times has been doing. Sane washing and liberal washing, the worst horrific imperialist warmonger bloodthirsty crimes we've ever seen. Me and the boys on the way to war because Taylor Swift and Beyonce told a bunch of uninformed white chicks, to vote for Kamala. Poorly aged things. All the memes about, bro, Trump is anti-war and Kamala's pro-war, bro. She's gonna give us World War III. That's what she's gonna give us World War III. Here's Trump delivering us World War III. And seemingly a new war on a weekly basis. He bombs a new country. Just so ludicrous. By the way, as I talk to you right now, Secretary of War Crimes Pete Kegsbreath is talking. I have News Nation on in the background. And they're currently sucking themselves off over their war crimes and their imperialism. All right. I posted this one. Remember when the @GOP Twitter account said, vote the pro-peace ticket, vote Trump and Vance. And there's this big smug-ass picture. The pro-peace ticket. Yes. We love peace. And by peace, I mean bombing anybody and everybody. How come every time these two meet, a new war starts, and it's the picture of Trump and Netanyahu, who literally did just meet? Yeah, weird, isn't it? Weird, isn't it? Adam Johnson says, could have been Azerbaijan or Sweden, so the New York Times is right to hedge here. And he's showing a New York Times title that says, Venezuela accuses the U.S. of carrying out attacks on the Capitol. Really? That's what we're going with? They accuse the U.S. of doing it? You didn't have the fucking cojones to tell the truth and point out, of course it's the U.S. You needed, like, Pete Kegsbreath to verify it before you said it? They accused the U.S. So in other words, if Trump and Pete Kegsbreath came out and said, actually, that wasn't even us, bro, the New York Times would have said, the U.S. denies involvement. This is not journalism. This is not reporting. This is not truth-telling. You're stenographers to power. You're little bitches. You refuse to actually be honest for once in your fucking lives. Guys, I went through this already with the war in Iraq. We went through it already, where the media was, like, routinely dishonest. They could not tell the truth, even though everybody knew the truth. Right? And so, again, now at least you have outlets like this one where I'll tell you the truth, and there's others who will tell you the truth. But, like, people shouldn't have to look for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be the default that the truth is spoken. But the paper of record refuses to do it. All right, more. So Trump went on Fox and Friends. He went on Fox and Friends. He's giving a speech right now as I'm recording this. By the way, Crystal texted me and said he sounds like absolute shit. So, you know, his health problems are definitely catching up to him. His fucking, you know, his record on Earth, like the last things he's known for are going to be starting like multiple new psychotic wars. But he sounds like shit, apparently. But he was on Fox and Friends earlier, and boy, oh boy, did we get some amazing clips. So here's Aaron Rupar says, Trump to Fox and Friends on the raid that captured Maduro, quote, I mean, I watched it literally like I was watching a television show. If you would have seen the speed, the violence, it was an amazing thing. Look at this. Look at what Grandpa says.
So you've had quite a busy evening. Tell us about it.
It was slightly busy, I would say. It was very dark all over, especially in Venezuela. The team did an incredible job. They rehearsed and practiced like nobody's ever seen. And I was told by real military people that there's no other country on earth that can do such a maneuver. If you would have seen what happened, I mean, I watched it literally like I was watching a television show. And if you would have seen the speed, the violence, you know, they say that, the speed, the violence, they use that term. It was an amazing thing, an amazing job that these people did. There's nobody else could have done anything like it.
You're at Mar-a-Lago right now. How were you able to watch this?
Well, we watched it from a room. We had a room, and we watched it, and we watched every aspect of it. We were surrounded by lots of people, including generals.
So not in the Situation Room where all the stuff is protected, literally sitting in Mar-a-Lago watching it like he says, like a TV show. Fucking senile grandpa sundowning, watching fucking death and destruction that he's unleashing on innocent people.
Everything that was happening, and it was very complex, extremely complex, the whole maneuver, the landings, the number of aircraft, which were a massive number, the number of helicopters, a different type of helicopters, different type of fighter jets. We had a fighter jet for every possible situation. And they just broke in, and they broke into places that were not really able to be broke into, you know.
I love how it says in the banner at the bottom, Trump, U.S. captured Venezuelan dictator Maduro. I would love to see China or Iran, capture U.S. dictator Trump and brings him to justice by letting him have a trial in their country. Again, this is the world that they're creating, but they're too stupid to think it through to its conclusion. To understand what if the shoe's on the other foot. To understand, like, hey, you know, you're laying a precedent here, and that matters. You don't just get to, I get to do it, and you don't. That's not how it works.
And they got taken out in a matter of seconds. I've never seen anything like it. Actually.
And you were able to watch this in real time.
Yeah, don't forget, I've done some pretty good ones in other parts of the world. Okay, I've done some pretty good ones, but I've never seen anything like this. I was able to watch it in real time, and I watched every aspect of it, and I listened to the communication between, you know, where we were in Florida and out in the field in Venezuela. And it was amazing to see the professionalism, the quality of leadership, the professionalism. General Raisin Kane is fantastic. Don't forget, we did another one not so long ago. It was called the knocking out of the Iranian nuclear threat, the nuclear power. And that was unbelievable what they did there. And this is something that...
bragging about all the wars he started.
I don't know. It's amazing. And to have a few injuries, but no death on our side is really amazing.
So what are the injuries? That's crazy. Like, so U.S. soldiers got injured, and you just, like, brush by that? By the way, just so you know, I always listen to stuff on 1.25 times speed, as I'm sure most of you guys who watch this know. So even on that speed, he sounded like shit. So if I had a normal speed, he would be dragging like a motherfucker through that stuff. By the way, he's doing all this, and then he's going to try to go, you know, make his tea time. More, Trump on Democrats. Here's what he says. Here's how he says, Democrats should be praising me. They should be praising me for starting another illegal regime change war.
The Democrats, maybe they'll take a shot. They'll take a shot. Oh, all they do is complain. They don't talk about, they should say, you know what? We did a great job. We're stopping drugs from coming into this country.
Total lie.
And nobody's been able to do it until we came along. But they should say, great job. They shouldn't say, oh, gee, maybe it's not constitutional. The same old stuff.
Literally mocking the Constitution. Could you imagine a Democratic president mocking the Constitution, how the right would react? It'd be a 24/7 meltdown for a week straight on Fox News.
That we've been hearing for years and years and years.
All right. How about this one? Fox and Friends. What do you see as the future of Venezuela's oil industry? And yet again, Trump is going to say the quiet part loud.
The countries that negotiate with Venezuela for that illegal oil are already starting to suffer. What do you see as the future of Venezuela's oil industry?
Well, I see that we're going to be very strongly involved in it. That's all. I mean, what can I say? We have the greatest oil companies in the world, the biggest, the greatest, and we're going to be very much involved in it. We can't do something like this, and we're prepared. We were prepared to do a second wave. We were all set, and this was so lethal. This was so powerful that we didn't have to, but we're prepared. We're out there with an armada like nobody's ever seen before, and we're prepared, and frankly, probably thought we were going to have to do it, but we were prepared for a second wave going in.
Isn't it crazy that this guy pretended to criticize George W. Bush over the Iraq War, and now he's doing this? Isn't it amazing? People have the memory of a fucking goldfish. All right, more. Fox and Friends. Will you throw your support behind the opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado? And here is his answer.
Will you, Mr. President, throw your support behind opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, who, as you recall, won the Nobel Peace Prize and then in turn dedicated it to you for your efforts in pressuring Maduro? Are you going to fully support her to take over to run the country?
Well, we're going to have to look at it. Right now, they have a vice president, as you know. I mean, I don't know.
So this is actually kind of fascinating because I was expecting him to say, of course, we back her, right? But he didn't say that, which then begs the question, all right, well, did you leave the VP in control? Did you leave the defense minister? Right? Like, did you make a behind-the-scenes deal with them where they are now going to let U.S. corporations and billionaires fucking plunder and pillage and loot and steal the oil and stuff? And so since they're allowing that, you're going to allow the VP to be president? Like, there's so many unanswered questions now because of how this went down. It's either a secret deal or it's extreme incompetence. We know there's also just extreme pettiness and viciousness and criminality because why would you attack basically the gravesite of Hugo Chavez, a former president there, who's, beloved by the public? Why would you do that, right? So there's all sorts of weird things going on here. It's very bizarre that he's not just supporting this person who was begging for the regime change all along, who the U.S. was working with. The other thing is, remember, in the first term, they pretended like this guy, Juan Guaido, was president of Venezuela when he wasn't. And so are they going to try to bring back Juan Guaido? Do they like him more? Are they going to kick Maria Corina Machado to the side and say, we're going to go with this guy? I don't know. There's a lot of open questions still.
I don't know about what kind of an election that was, but, the election of Maduro was a disgrace, just like my election was a disgrace. 2020 was...
By the way, I'm watching in the background right now. One of the generals is giving a speech on this, which, by the way, he should be locked up. He's a criminal. He should be locked up. This is wildly illegal. This is unacceptable. You're trampling over U.S. law and international law. What a fucking disgrace this man is. But as he's giving a speech, Trump is in the background standing there. His eyes are like 90% shut. So, the sundowning fucking psychopath is falling asleep as they discuss the new war they got us into.
And, a real disgrace. Now, 2024 was too big to rig. But what he did was, his was open. I would say, frankly, you want to know the truth? I think Charlie would testify this. It wasn't a hell of a lot worse than what they did to us in 2020.
Bro, he's talking about how the 2020 election was rigged, he said. Meanwhile, Jack Smith just the other day validated Trump would be going to prison if he was able to finish doing his job as a special investigator. This is unbelievable.
Our election was a disgrace in 2020, and everyone knows
He's still babbling about the election.
And now it's come out, and it's come out even in a legal form. But it was disgraceful. He had
flipping the truth exactly on its head. The opposite came out, that you were trying to steal the election, and he lies and flips it.
There was a rigged election. And the people have no love for him, that's for sure. He had very little loyalty, if any.
There's literally Venezuelans in the street now protesting this illegal attack on their sovereignty.
He was a dictator who was a tough cookie, and he ran it tough, and the people can't believe they got so lucky.
What? Okay, just insane. So here is Jeremy Corbyn. He comments on this.
This is the behaviour of a cowboy state, not the behaviour of a member of the UN Security Council. So it needs to be condemned in the strongest possible terms. I hope the British government will do just that. The US believing it has an inalienable right to do anything it wishes in any what they call Western Hemisphere country, which obviously means all of Latin America. Is it next going to be Cuba that they go into, or what is next after this? This is an opportunity for the British government to say very clearly, if it does believe in international law, then clearly what the US has done is illegal. It is illegal to invade a country for regime change, as happened in the case of Iraq.
There's Jeremy Corbyn. We got more. Here's Jeremy Corbyn talking about it in Parliament.
Could the Minister be very clear? What the US is doing is illegal in bombing vessels at sea, in both international waters and potentially in territorial waters. The harassment of Trinidadian fishing communities likewise, and the now threat of bombardment on the Venezuelan mainland is completely illegal within all sections of international law. Has the British government made any representations to the US on this? And what role does the British government play at the United Nations in the discussions about this? And does he accept this is an incredibly dangerous, massive build-up of military force in the Caribbean that can only be dangerous, not just to the people of Venezuela, but the people of every other country and island within the region? Surely there should be some move towards peace rather than allowing this military confrontation to develop.
So he's going in here.
Thank you, Mandate Speaker, and the Right Honourable Gentleman brings considerable experience of Latin American issues to this House. On the legal position, I don't think I have very much more to add. Clearly, there has been extensive reporting over the last few days of some specific US strikes.
Translation: we don't know what these psychos are doing. We don't know what's going on.
Reiterate to the Right Honourable Gentleman that they were not strikes in which the UK had any role, so we're not in a position to provide the fuller explanation that we would had we been involved, which we were not.
That just shows you how insane Trump is. That now you have. It used to be the case that they would like openly say, of course we were part of this mission, and this mission was great, and it was honorable, and it was the right thing to do. Now they're like, who, me, bro? Me? I don't even know about what they're doing, bro. I didn't even hear about this till you heard about it at the same time you heard it, bro. Like now they're running and hiding too, because they're like, hey man, I don't want anything to do with this. People are gonna end up in prison for this.
And on his wider question about his views about build-up in the region, I think the House has heard.
Lula says the bombings on Venezuelan territory and the capture of its president cross an unacceptable line. 3 acts represent a most serious affront to Venezuela's sovereignty and yet another extremely dangerous precedent to the entire international community. Attacking countries in flagrant violation of international law is the first step toward a world of violence, chaos, and instability where the law of the strongest prevails over multilateralism. The condemnation of the use of force is consistent with the position that Brazil has always adopted in recent situations in other countries and regions. The action recalls the worst moments of interference in the politics of Latin America and the Caribbean and threatens the preservation of the region as a zone of peace. The international community, through the United Nations, needs to respond vigorously to this episode. Brazil condemns these actions and remains available to promote the path of dialogue and cooperation. So, clear condemnation from Lula, the president of Brazil. Take a look at this. So, J.D. Vance says, and PSA for, of course, he can't help but do this, like, smug Gen X / millennial way of speaking, right? And PSA for everyone saying this was illegal. Maduro has multiple indictments in the United States for narco-terrorism. You don't get to avoid justice for drug trafficking in the United States because you live in a palace in Caracas. James says the following. This argument means that anytime a president wants to invade a country legally, he just has to get his DOJ to indict the country's leader. It makes Congress's power to declare war totally meaningless. By the way, somebody should ask J.D. Vance, hey, shouldn't we go and arrest Netanyahu, like, right this fucking second? Since there's a warrant for his arrest? And according to the ICC and the ICJ and every international body, this guy's a fucking war criminal committing a genocide. Shouldn't he be arrested right now? Maduro, whatever you think of Maduro's so-called crimes, no evidence of any of it, right? But what Netanyahu's done objectively, by any metric, is way fucking worse. Should he get arrested? How about your boss? How about your boss? Should he be arrested by China or Russia? Because, hey, we indicted him in our country. So is that how this works? What a fucking child. This is Ivy League educated. And this is the sort of slop this motherfucker feeds you.